Well, I would just say now you know why we ask for Ambassador Volker and Mr. Morrison to be our witnesses. I think you also see now why Chairman Schiff wanted to put them in the afternoon. I mean, and you also see why we, remember, Ambassador Volker was the very first witness we deposed, and we called for the release of his transcript and getting that out for the American people to see, because he's the definitive source on this. He was the special envoy, and I think you saw him tell this story. Now, the one part I think is so important, he even told the Ukrainians when they did learn late August that the aid had been held, he said, don't worry about it, we'll get this worked out. And that's exactly what happened, and it got worked out without any promise, commitment, announcement, start of any type of investigation. So this was a very good day for the truth, a very good day for the President of the United States, a very good day for the country. And the sad thing is, as I said in the hearing, these two individuals are no longer working in our government because they're the kind of public service servants that you appreciate. Mr. Winstrup, go ahead. Mr. Zeld.
So some of the important facts to recap. Ambassador Volker says that on the July 25th call that President Zelensky doesn't know that there's a hold on aid. He gets a readout from both the U.S. side and the Ukraine side, and there's no reference to a quid pro quo, extortion, bribery, a hold on aid. On July 26th, President Zelensky meets with Ambassadors Sondland and Volker. There's no reference to quid pro quo, bribery, extortion, a hold on aid. Then over the course of the next several weeks, Ambassador Volker is in frequent contact with the Ukrainians, and there is no reference in any of those conversations to hold on aid, quid pro quo, extortion, bribery in any way, shape, or form. It's not until the end of August. Ukraine reads it in Politico on August 29th. They then get confirmation that there's a hold on aid. The aid gets released shortly thereafter. And guess what Ukraine had to do in order to get that hold lifted? Absolutely nothing. Ukraine didn't have to do absolutely anything to get that hold on aid released shortly after they had that confirmation at the end of August. Something else that's really important is that the Democrats and some in the media like to just say that the Burisma-Zlochevsky issue is just totally debunked. Even though Burisma is a corrupt Ukrainian company run by a corrupt Ukrainian oligarch, hiring Hunter Biden by Hunter Biden's own admission solely because his last name, solely because he's the vice president's son, at least $50,000 a month. No Ukraine experience, no energy experience. His father is meanwhile the person running point, literally the most conflicted person out in the Obama administration to be running point in Ukraine. And this dirty money that Hunter Biden is getting from this dirty company run by this dirty Ukrainian oligarch is a legitimate issue that the president was concerned about. Our country should be concerned about corruption. Well, there is a history of a company and an oligarch going back years. Now, the other thing, too, that the Democrats like to say and some of the media say, it's totally debunked that Ukrainians interfered in the 2016 election. And if you actually pay attention to some of the specific back and forth you frequently have heard from Jim Jordan and Devin Nunes and the others, there were Ukrainians who sought to inject themselves into the 2016 U.S. election. And whether it's Alexandra Chalupa, who's on the GOP witness list and said that she wants to testify, or it's the Black Ledger, or some of the origins of the Steele dossier, or it's Ambassador Chali, and that list goes on. These are Ukrainians who interfered in the 2016 election. So the president wanted to look into two actual issues, Ukrainians who did interfere in the 2016 election, as well as the Burisma-Zlochevsky issue. So today was a great day for the truth. That's all we want are facts. And I think it's important for the other 97% of this story to get out there, because to tear our country in half for this charade is a disgrace. We should be passing USMCA. We should be lowering the cost of prescription drugs. I want to be able to deliver. We all want to, as a Congress, and we should be able to deliver for our constituents and for this country. But in order to do that, this Schiff show has to end.
What do you say, Mr. Schiff, when he says at the end, he said Republicans are only upset that the president got caught? Now, I know you disagree with the premise.
Got caught.
But if you go back to some of the testimony from Holmes and Sondland, the phone call in the restaurant,
Well, we're going to get to hear from Mr. Sondland tomorrow and Mr. Holmes on Thursday, and I look forward to both of those hearings. Got caught doing what? Nothing happened. I mean, this is the whole point. They, as
Chad,
Mr. Zeldin just said, they didn't have to announce, they didn't have to start, they never did any type of investigation, and the aid got released. And it got released after all these interactions President Zelensky had with senior U.S. officials, and they all come to believe exactly what Mr. Volker told you. Zelensky was the real deal. They told the president, and the aid was released.
So Mr. Volker did a very fine job today. If you read his opening statement and everything that went with it, about how he worked as a diplomat. How he worked as a diplomat to try and mend fences between an administration that was concerned about corruption in another country and was he was a skeptic about delivering aid in general. He worked it as a diplomat should, and he got the job done. And we got the aid, the very aid, the lethal aid that President Obama denied them, and now they have it, and this is all that they ever wanted. You can go on and on and on about all these other things in side conversations. The bottom line is, what did the president do? We heard over and over and over again from everyone who's testified, no quid pro quo. Then they changed the dynamics, it's bribery, extortion. They all said, no, I don't see it there. They haven't had a witness yet that will confirm what they're accusing the president of doing. So where's the case? This is what makes it crazy. And I sit in that room, I'm on the Ways and Means Committee, and I would really like to get back to the work of the country that the American people are waiting for each and every day.
There were 3 witnesses today who all raised concerns about the Trump ask for Ukraine to investigate the Bidens. Even Volker, who revised his testimony, saying he would have pushed back had he have known before that the Burisma investigation was tantamount to investigating the Bidens. So are you willing to concede that the president should not have asked Ukrainians to investigate the Bidens?
It didn't happen, first of all. They never undertook any investigation. The president is right to be concerned about corruption, particularly when he's sending the hard-earned tax dollars of the American people to, as Ernst & Young said, one of the 3 most corrupt countries on the planet. That was the focus, and Ambassador Volker viewed that as the focus throughout his time doing the work as the special envoy to Ukraine. And guess what, Mono? It worked out.
But Volker
it worked out.
There's nothing that he saw that Joe Biden did in acting inappropriately. He said that he thought that Joe Biden acted appropriately.
I think the American people,
do you
as
agree
Mr.
with
Zeldin said, I think the American people can see, as Hunter Biden even said himself, that the arrangement putting him on the board of this corrupt company, we know it's corrupt because Secretary Kent, who we heard from last week, told us that he had concerns about Burisma way back in 14, 15, and 16. So I think the American people can see that for what it is.
If you don't think it's corrupt, why is he not coming in to testify? Why is Adam Schiff not allowing him to come in to testify? You can draw your own conclusions. Why is this man being hidden from the American people and what his role was?
Before the Sondland, you get in the morning, Mr. Jordan.